As for City, 18 consecutive wins, 15 points clear. The world record, as we know, I think, regulars, is 19 in a row, set by Bayern Munich when Guardiola was in charge. One more game from this round of 20. Palace play Arsenal tomorrow night, 22:30 Mecca, that starts. Dwight York and Ian Rush in the studios with Andy Kerr. Arabic coverage on 2, English language. Do we give Benitez great credit, Peter, for nearly upsetting Manchester City?
Yeah, I think in the end you do. It's just that I at home in the position that they're in sometimes, and maybe me, I'm a bit bolder, I'd have gone for it. I'd have gone, see what Bristol City did to Manchester United? You never know. You just never know. And he got in the faces from the first kick-off, and he didn't like it. I thought Manchester City were in the comfort zone till Newcastle United got after them.
Let's get too carried away. City were only playing Manchester United.
They conceded.
Sorry,
yeah. I haven't got a leg to stand on just about now, right?
Now, the answer to the quiz question that was posed the other side of the break is that this goal should have stood, technically. Little known fact, in fact, it is a fact that had passed the four of us by.
Oh, excuse me. Did I say it was a goal?
You did, but I think you'd misinterpreted the rule that we were working on.
No, it come off him. The defender, so he was on.
Yeah, no, not strictly speaking. No, that's not the case at all.
Because he was shutting them down.
If a defender
shut him down,
purposely moves to the ball in a situation such as that, he is deemed to be playing the opponent, Aguero, onside.
That's what I said.
No, you said it got a touch of his jersey.
It hits him, so he's onside.
So he's deliberately tried to close the ball down.
It's got to be deliberate. The word you're using is deliberate.
Well, he's put his boot out to try to stop the ball.
Because if he just have a shot and he deflected...
I'm sorry, it's complete and utter rubbish.
Well, that's
when he shoots there he's offside.
Defender.
Forget what happens after that. He's offside.
It's not the law.
No, De Bruyne shoots.
The law.
Yes or no?
Yeah, the law is
because you didn't know the law.
Because he shut him down.
You didn't know the law. No, you never.
Let me just read you again from our friendly official Mark Halsley. A player who deliberately blocks the ball or attempts to do so is deemed as playing the ball deliberately, thus playing his opponent onside.
So he's onside?
So he's onside.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't know that. I thought once it deflected and he's offside, but if you said...
He's offside.
Yeah, he's offside. You thought that's an offside.
He's
but the
offside
fact that he's deemed or the attempt to block the ball...
Until the attempt is made to block the ball.
That's brilliant. I tell you what, those authorities are fantastic. So that means that every coach in the world who tells his players, don't block a shot on the edge of the box.
You see, we're not the only ones. Bobby Madley got it wrong, did he not? At Bournemouth.
Well,
that goal should have been disallowed.
Like
he gave the goal... well, he's not told us exactly why at the moment, but he's given the goal, believing that the touch
was by a defender.
But
what?
But
what touch?
Well, the header across the box.
When
comes from Aki. Aki's header. He doesn't believe Wilson gets a touch. Therefore, he says it's a goal. The problem is he's misinterpreted his own law because in going for that ball there, Wilson becomes active.
Yes, of course he
does. So therefore, it should be disallowed anyway.
Listen, every reason you want to look at for that goal to be disallowed is accurate. He's offside. He handballed it, and he moved towards it.
My wider point is, and it is a genuine concern, I can forgive us not knowing the law, but I cannot forgive officials that are taking charge of Premier League matches not knowing the law.
No, we did one, and it was Romelu Lukaku, remember now, playing for Everton at Goodison, opposite the Gladys Street end, and the same thing happened. There was a shot come in from the edge of the box, and the guy went to block it, and it hit him, and it spun through. Lukaku was 3 or 4 yards offside, and he nonchalantly just controlled it and flipped in the net. And the ref gave it. And I'm sat here arguing as an Evertonian, well, that's the most ridiculous decision I've ever seen in my life.
No, you weren't. You were running around the studio with your arm in the
air. I was off air, but I wasn't. So we have discussed that here, but it still doesn't alter the fact it's a complete and utter nonsense.
I'm not here to agree or disagree with you.
No.
And you may have a very good point. those people in the stadium tonight, had that been given, would have been every bit as confused as we are, wouldn't they?
And I think the amount of deflection, I don't even know if the official saw the deflection. We didn't see it when it first happened. When De Bruyne took the shot on initially, there was no real, it wasn't a big deflection. It just moved maybe 6 inches or a foot. So it was very difficult to actually pick up watch this and see if can you pick up the deflection there?
I tell you what, if you're asking me as a manager, I would say that's not shutting down to me.
No, it doesn't say shutting down. It says deliberate
attempts to
block.
Or it's too far away.
He's trying to block the shot.
Look, on a matter of, if we got VAR tonight, on a matter of fact,
there's a fine line with
we give that.
That would be a goal, I guess. So.
Yeah, it'd dedefinitely be a goal.
Under that ludicrous rule, yeah, it would be good.
Within the rules of the game, that would have been a goal.
This is extraordinary, isn't it? It really is.
It's hard work, isn't it?
We only interpret the laws in the manner in which we are told to do so.
Watch DeAndre Yedlin. Should he allow him to go as a defender? You're his coach, the fullback, with Sterling. Watch him. He's with Sterling. Really. Watch him. He starts running him, starts and then leaves him. Now, surely he can't leave him until somebody says, I've got him.
Go with your runner. Go with runners. By the way, go with runners everywhere in the pitch, especially when you're defending your box.
I couldn't believe that. He's just pointed to somebody as if to say, pick him up somebody else.
Ridiculous.
Because I can't be bothered running in with him.
That's his job. And by the way, especially against a team like Manchester City, who do them outside runs to win all the times. As a coach, you'd be going to your full backs. You've got to track these wide men because they're going to get in on through balls.
We're talking about
Can I just ask that? Oh, sorry. I was thinking. Sorry, it was that tangent. Sorry, Dwight.
No, I think we're talking about the fact that we track the run, but you got to give credit to the pass as well, equally. And equally, you can't give players of that caliber, that time and space to pick a pass. And at this stage, this is why we were so frustrated when we see Newcastle did what they did second half, actually had a go at City. And you wonder why they didn't do this from the beginning. But you just can't give quality players of this caliber that kind of space and time. They're going to punish you.
Normally, you would say to me that's too straight, wouldn't you?
It's a difficult ball, but no, you wouldn't say that's too straight. What it is, it's opposites. It's straight ball, diagonal run. It's diagonal ball, straight run. That's what certainly what you would marry up. It's very difficult to make a straight run and a straight ball marry up together, so it's opposite.
What was the thought in your head?
Can we go back to our original?
We can go anywhere you like, my friend.
Does that mean then, for instance, if I'm a coach, then I say, right, every time we get a free kick near the edge of the box, they put a wall up. I want 2 or 3 of you to go and stand just in front of the goalie. And we'll take a chance. I'm going to get the players to hit it at their legs.
No, and you know why not? Because when Sam Allardyce did that, on the advice of Mark Halsey, in a game in the FA Cup, Bolton-Leicester, he put 2 on the post. It was deemed to be ungentlemanly.
My argument is, what's ungentlemanly? What Aguero did? He ran offside.
No.
Seeking an advantage.
No, he didn't.
He did. He ran offside.
You know full well that there would be enough flexibility in the system for there to be a good reason why that shouldn't happen. And
if you take
ungentlemanly conduct is likely to be the answer.
The wall is going to block it, yes? Attempt to block it with their legs. So if it hits their legs, goes through them, and I've got 3 players the other side of the wall,
technically you're right. Technically you're right, but it would probably be deemed to be ungentlemanly conduct. You know they make it up as they go along.
They do. They do.
Now, on the dive, here's another talking point. Is the punishment for this sufficient? If players were shown red in these circumstances, would they think twice?
Yes. Well, as an ex-manager, ex-coach, I would be saying, if I'm going to lose him for 3 games, stay on your feet. By the way, I can't believe why he's gone down. I just cannot.
There is an argument there was contact.
Yes, there is, but not enough to bring him down. And that's why it's a grey area for me.
What, not enough to bring him down? It doesn't say in the laws of the game how much contact there needs to be.
Richard, so if we go banning people or sending people off for these things, it's such a grey area. I think it'll cause more problems than it will solve. I really do.
Yeah, but do you think?
But isn't that cheating?
Do you think he could have stayed on his feet?
I think,
yes, of course I could.
I think he's.
9 penalties out of 10, probably. We could sit here and say, well, players could stay on the feet if they wanted to.
But see, Mark Hughes' point the other week, Andy, when Lanzini was subsequently charged with deceiving a match official, is that didn't help Stoke. The penalty still stood. Lanzini continued to play for the rest of that game and then missed 2. So if the punishment was immediate, would that not make you think twice about falling over like that?
Wrong.
Well, you stand that risk with every card that's shown.
You do, but is yellow not sufficient for something like that? I don't know. Listen, I
think if players are aware that the fact that they was going to get 3
Well, not even
match ban
3,
for
but an immediate ban.
Probably.
Red, off, go
and
now.
I think what they're disappointed in is that Dwight Gale has got there first. Maybe he could have still played for the penalty, but he could have still carried on if that didn't happen, and he didn't do either. So, is that cheating the system? It looks like he's trying to cheat the system. And that, for me, is a disappointment thing of it all, because he got there with ample time. Yes, get the ball, and then if he get the contact that he's looking for, then go down.
Ever gone down yourself?
No, I wasn't that type of player.
Never.
Never. You got to deliberately take me down for me to come down.
Yeah.
I was one of those players, 100%.
I'm not asking you.
I was never a diver. Never.
But what is a dive? If you felt contact, did you go over?
Exactly. What is a dive? A dive for me is when there's absolutely no contact.
Fine.
No contact.
But if there was contact,
then fine.
Would you exaggerate it?
Well, I think that is what's gone into the game. Their players now do go over the top with their dives.
So I put the question again. If you felt contact, would you exaggerate it?
No.
Would you go down?
I would go down, but I won't go.
Oh, you wouldn't throw your arm.
No, I don't mean acrobatically. I mean, would you go over?
If I get contact,
to do so?
Of course I would go down. Of course. Once the contact is made, then you will go down.
Richard, if you're a referee, so I'm then. Would you take it to the other end? Then I'm a forward who's going to get a ball that's going out of play, and I've got a defender in front of me who's trying to shepherd it out of play, right? And I'm close to him,
I think that's
and he throws himself onto the ground to get a free kick.
Yeah,
do you want him sent off for that?
Well, I agree with you. I think that, he would be looking to deceive a match official. And what did the late, great Jock Stein tell you? If you do take a dive, don't admit it.
Because it's a penalty and a goal. A very important international.
Yeah.